we can start.
Welcome again, everyone.
Good morning. Okay, hello, hi everyone. If you have just tuned in, right, thank you for tuning in. And this is our live podcast of start of week. And then what we aim to do is really to update you the latest money-related news, tips, so that we can help you grow your finances and manage your finance and grow your wealth. And this morning is the usual phase, okay, but we have a special guest today. All right, so let me just introduce him a little, and then I'll leave it to him to introduce himself. Other than Gaius.
Yep, that's me.
Okay, and then we also have special guest Benjamin.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. All right. So Benjamin has been a financial practitioner for about 5 years. All right. So he's not new to the financial industry. And then at this morning, we are really happy to have Benjamin on board with us. All right. So Benjamin, you want to introduce a little bit about yourself?
Thank you guys firstly for inviting me on. I think like what James has just mentioned, to me, financial planning is very close to my heart, right? And especially today's topic, retirement. We always have this vision, what is retirement? So to me, that's one main reason why I came on board, to help my clients plan for retirement, enjoy the lifestyle together, retire together, move on to the next phase together.
Great. Yeah. And so of course, one of the reasons why Benjamin is also very excited also, and in case you guys don't know, okay, he's gonna be the proud father soon, proud father to be. And
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, guys. So can we just jump into the topic for today? So today the topic is really like, what are you ready
for retirement? Yes.
Okay. So guys.
So maybe let me just start off with the first question. Hey, I just want to ask the two guys here. All right, potential to the Fathers Club and then existing Fathers Club member. All right. So what is retirement really to the both of you?
Yes, I'll go first.
I go first. Well, I mean, retirement is really just able to do the things that I want to without any financial concerns. Yeah, it also means that I can continue working without any financial concerns. Yeah, so that's generally put it down a simple answer for retirement for myself. Yeah.
Okay, and I think looking at me, I'm relatively young. I would say for me retirement. Yes,
yeah, we are. Me too.
And I think retirement for me is like what Gaius just mentioned: not working, being able to just enjoy the lifestyle with my friends, just taking leave whenever I want to take leave. To have financial freedom.
Okay,
great. Yeah. So obviously, when we talk about retirement, right, other than expecting that lifestyle that you wanted to, one of the key questions about retirement is how much is enough. All right. So let's not look about that big number, $1 million, $2 million. Let's just go straight to the monthly expenses. How much do you think is enough, for a monthly expenses, especially when it comes to retirement?
I think it really depends very much on lifestyle, right? So what are we envisioning ourselves to have? Are we going to think about having a car? Are we staying in a HDB? Are we going to do private properties? I think then it boils down to how much monthly expenses we need, whether or not we need a part-time helper or a full-time helper. Right. So I know we've got a report that we researched from, right?
Yeah.
So coming back to Ben's answer is that if we were to put it into a really exact number, there is a report. If you read the news and if you do some research, okay, the number is generally between like 2.3 to 2.9 or even 3K thereabouts. Okay, so guys, this would be a rough gauge for you to actually look into. Okay, and of course, like what Ben mentions, is really like if you've got a lifestyle that is a little bit more comfortable, then you may want to consider actually planning for more of that.
Yeah. I mean, thank you. Benjamin and Gaius has mentioned about 2.3, 2.9K, range. Yeah. I think recently, right, there was this survey that was done online, and then I draw the statistics from this article. That actually more than 50%, okay, of the responses, right, actually got the money expenses wrong.
That's not alarming.
Yeah, that's quite alarming because can you imagine if most of them got it wrong, right? It means that a lot of people doesn't really know how much is required for retirement, let alone planning for it. Actually,
And the interesting thing is that James is like, can you also review like more than 50% of what total number of respondents then in this case?
Yes. So the total number of respondents is about 5,000, and then one particular group that is alarming, right, is that the millennials. So basically, people who are Yeah, actually including ourselves. Yeah. Born in the early 1980s to about late 90s, right? It's worrying because they basically do not know how much they required for retirement. Yeah. And I think one of the key question is what type of expenses do you think you will probably incur during retirement? Yeah. Maybe you want to talk about
I
that.
think if you ask me, housing loan,
Mhm.
that should continue into my retirement. Things like your car, right? And just now I was mentioning domestic helper, whether we're going to have a helper, that should be expenses.
Hopefully, really, like, I don't need a helper, because I'll be staying on my own, or rather, I don't need a car because, like, hopefully Singapore will turn into a car free. I'll probably be cycling around, but then again, that is actually ideal. Some of you actually will be thinking about that as well. But nevertheless, like what Ben mentions, these are actually realistic and maybe practical concerns. And if you think about it, it's actually a lot of things to think about. And the only way to really prepare for it is for you to, or for all of us to prepare early and start early, regardless of how little or how much you actually start with.
How about holidays? Like nowadays, right? Everybody talks about holiday. That 1 year of COVID, basically we can't travel. So we miss holiday. So how about holiday during retirement? Is it going to be an expenses that's going to be increased as well? Especially when it comes to retirement.
I think for me, me and my wife, we spoke about this. I think after we retire, we want to do at least 3 months around Europe. I think this is something that's minimal. I mean, if my wife is listening in,
you might as well just move to Europe. No need 3 months perpetual.
That's something that could be considered. But then again, once we need to start preparing, right? Early preparation equals to being able to achieve that dream.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I was talking to someone who is retired, and then this person tells me there's 2 things that usually people forgotten about. One is, of course, rising medical costs. As you age, right, your health is going to be worse. Can't be better. Your spare parts is going to be replaced, going to change. You need more servicing, maintenance, etc. So obviously, medical cost is going to increase. Another surprising thing, that this person tells me, right, is that when everybody start calling you Aceh, uncle, ape, and all this, and they start
retire,
and they start inviting you for their housewarming, weddings, baby showers, right? Every time they invite you, you need to give ang pao. So that kind of expenses typically increases as well. Of course, on the sad note, right? This person who retired also tells me, that your close friends are also going to be gone as well. And sometimes you go, you also take it to them as well. So these are typical some expenses that you probably were gonna expect.
Wow. Hey, James, from all the things that we've been talking, right, it seems that there are like endless number of expenses or things to consider.
Yes.
Quite sad.
Quite sad.
Scary. I would say.
Okay, scary. Yes.
That's why I think before this, right, Gaius was talking about emergency funds. So Gaius, I think last week you spoke about that as well. So how much? Just give us a recap. How much was really enough?
Okay. Basically, if you remember, our emergency fund that we are looking at is between 3 to 6 months. If you're actually looking at being a self-employed, then you may want to actually have a little bit longer emergency fund, which is actually 12 months. Okay. Then again, that is a good point because we want to bring back in terms of when you are retired. Okay. Assuming that you're retiring at 65, assuming that then you will live until for the next 20 years, that will be a good 20 years of retirement lifestyle horizon. Okay.
And that's 140 months, right?
Yeah, great. Well, good math. Okay. Yes. Okay. And so that is 240 months compared to what we are currently needed. At least 6 months. If you actually compare that, that is a drastic. It's almost like 40 times more. Okay. And if you are not nearing 24 to 240 months, it's a question that you need to ask. Are you in urgent need of it, or do you have more time? Do you have enough time, or do you have not enough time?
I think that is a very good measure to draw against. If a good link to our previous topic. If you have not listened to our previous topic, right? Let's just tell a bit of Koyo. Please look back. The previous video, rewind it. And then I think Gaius make a very very good comparison. If you don't even have that 6 month of emergency fund, right? Then don't even talk about having that 240 months for retirement. And that is the assumption that you live until 85. I think I think Benjamin, as a current practitioner, is going to tell you the life expectancy rate is.
Yeah. So right now, right, it's for male it's 85 and for female it's 81, right?
Okay.
And it's always on the increasing trend, right?
And because healthcare is getting better and better, we are going to expect to live a bit longer.
And I think this is also the main reason why every Singaporeans has our CPF. Yeah, correct. Yeah, and if you recall, right, I think depending on how much our CPF life really have, whether it's 93,000 or all the way up to 270 over $1,000, you basically receive a guaranteed payout of $700. Each to probably about 2,000 plus, depending on when you retire. Obviously. Well, by the time we retire,
it'll be more.
A lot more in CPF life.
But that is also a good point, James, because your CPF, let's not forget that will be one of your basic and first things to use or utilize or even capitalize for your retirement. Okay, because I mean, like it or not, CPF is there for a purpose, and what we want to do is that not to run away from it. It's a tool. So I will also encourage all our listeners here to really look into it as one of your tools. It'd be useful.
And lastly, right, before I let the two of them go, I just want to ask them a very straight question. So today, if let's say I'm a consumer, our listeners have not really planned for retirement. Maybe my age and younger. I'm 40 and younger. Any advice for them? Maybe let's start with Gayus first.
Okay. How to start really is like just track your money, all right, and then also I would say from my own personal experience is that it's always tough to really keep to a regular habit of savings, and I honestly admit that this is tough for me as well. So one of the things that really got me started really is like to put into a gyro, where you start just putting money aside, drawing it aside and just blocking it for some time. Okay, and it's difficult, but once you get to it, the good news is that you don't need to actually think about it anymore. So this is actually my honest advice or even suggestion or encouragement to all of you guys.
I think that's a good suggestion. Like a forced savings into a gyro account. And then I think if you don't even know about it, right, your bank can actually do a fixed and routine money transfer to another account for the purpose of saving. And if you don't know how to do so, right, I think check with the bankers, check your financial consultant, or check out our brother here, Gayus, right?
So you bring me to the ATM machine, I have you to withdraw every month.
All right. So and then over to Benjamin. I think from an investment point of view, any advice, for our listeners or consumer?
So I would say similarly to what Gayus mentioned, if you don't have that regular habit of saving, then put into an investment tool that has that monthly forced savings in a way. So every single week, every single month, we do like a dollar cost averaging into a particular unit trust that would help make your money work for you, right? And that's something that I always tell my clients. You are working hard for your money. Why not let your money work as hard?
Oh, wow. I mean, that's really good. That's a good really ending to our podcast today. You have really been working very hard for money, but then why don't you let the money work harder for you? I think that was a good suggestions, advice by Benjamin, mentioning that you should have a forced savings. It's pretty much like a savings plan. Whether it's a unit trust or insurance, they give you a guaranteed or projected investment return. Basically, this can really help you achieve your retirement goal earlier. In future. All right. Any last thing to add for our listeners, guys?
Just start somewhere. Start small. Start big. Start somewhere.
Okay. Start small. Start somewhere. Okay. Start small and start somewhere. And for Benjamin, it is.
Like what Gayus mentioned, I think that's the main idea that I always bring across to my client. Don't despise small beginnings. Start. That's the most important.
All right, all right. Okay. And thank you very much for listening to our this week's podcast. All right. So if you really like what we share, please help us share out this link to more people so that more people can understand and know more about money tips. We're going to upload this onto YouTube and subsequently onto podcast as well. So do search for us at our Spotify podcast. It is called Money CEO. Listen to it while you are driving, please. All right. And then once again, catch us live again next Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. Do invite your friends to come along. And if you want to subscribe and get updated of our latest news, join our Telegram channel as well. It's called Be the CEO of Your Money. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day.
All right.
Bye.